Hey, welcome to the Painted Medicine Studio in Salida, Colorado. I'm Dustin. I'm making this series of videos for Salida Studio 2025, Studio Tour 2025, but also to tell a little story about the pieces I've made, how I got here. So you can fast forward like 45 seconds if you've heard my story. I wasn't a painter. I wasn't interested in art. In about 2014, I picked up a paintbrush. Some things were transitioning in my life. I'm not going to go into detail, but over the course of those years following that, I had a pretty severe collision on a snowboard with a tree. Had some really traumatic losses in my family, premature, if you will, as well as a number of other deaths, and rolled over a vehicle. I got kidnapped. I lost a career and a source of income, and through that time, I painted through the process. So this one, I've had a handful of different names for it. It's Tears of a Warrior is what I've called it, or Warrior Tears. This one came after I flipped a vehicle and got a bunch of concussions. So I was driving on a road that got a little wet. There was a little moisture in the air, and I just overcorrected and went off the road and did this slow roll off the road. But I was slammed up against the window beside me and rolled up against the road. Now, mind you, I'd been painting for about 4 years when this happened. The truck was about to go over this like ravine, which would have sucked, but there was one solo tree there, and it propped up against that tree and then fell back down. I don't know how long it was, but I crawled up to the highway and hitched a ride home and had pretty severe concussions. The next day, I was walking, but I was still really dizzy and off balance, and I fell again and hit my head right up against the side of this brick building. And some friends found me, and they got me cleaned up, and they brought me to my studio. And I don't know how much of this painting was accomplished during that time, but then I proceeded to apparently fall asleep on my couch, which I've heard is a no-no for yeah, what you do after a concussion. Nonetheless, this was kind of what came out over, I don't know if it was a day or a week, but over the next time period of after I had that series of concussions. Those aren't the only concussions I've had, but I do feel they've kind of shaped my art. I don't have I guess, a particular style in what I do. It's really painted emotions, painted what's going on. I'm not painting for somebody else. It's my processing tool. So this place, Painted Medicine, is where I've done a lot of, pretty much all of my painting over the years. There's thousands of, well, hundreds, if not 1,000 paintings rolled up and under my desk. I'm going to tell stories on the little ones, kind of what they mean to me. This one, I was, in a transitionary state. This rollover accident was like the icing on the cake for the shit that was going on in my world. I had lost a handful of family members in very short order. I had lost my, belief in myself, my confidence. I had lost my business, my source of income. I had lost some people that I had called friends. I had lost some things that were needing to be processed, and I found that it was just like, my God, how when it rains it pours sort of situation. So, but I've always known I was going to get through this. There was always been that internal voice saying, man, you ain't finished yet. So this piece, what I see on it is obviously a face of somebody with tears in their eyes and a braid coming down their head. It does look like their head's all messed up and concussed. I see some I don't know, it's not like the best eyes, but I see some determination, but also some fear in the eyes. So anyhow, I like this piece. It's one of my, I wouldn't say favorites. I don't love looking at it, but I think it came at a time where art was pinnacle in my life to be able to process through what was going on, what had happened to my head. And I'm still in this time, well after it, in a state of resentment for how I had shifted through the trauma and things that caused me to have PTSD reactions, and the impacts to my head, the physical impacts. I was in denial. I was denying who I had become. I lost, contacts of friends, people, in a way betrayed me because of the things that had happened to me, which I had never been in that perspective of getting injured and then realize there's a stigma to mental health issues. So for me, this was pinnacle. These paintings were pinnacle in helping me kind of find out a little bit more about who I am, who I've become, not spend so much time in resentment and fear, because those suck. Those emotions, those are like the anti-human emotions. We all have them, but those when they take over, they can be so destructive. So being able to, I guess, find a way to express myself, process for myself, and after spending years of trying to get out of that haze, I'm not there yet, man. I'll tell you, I have really good days. They're measurable against really terrible days of just being able to stay on a level plane in a chaotic world at first, but with a shaken head. So if I could suggest anything, I don't know much, but I do know that painting has helped me to process, being creative, journaling, sketching something down. For some reason, it stimulates something in my brain that has allowed me to get through things that used to eat my dinner daily. So anyhow, I'll probably trim this video down, but for those of you that came to Salida Studio Tour, there's more videos on my my YouTube Painted Medicine channel about some other paintings. So have a good day.